सदाशिवसमारम्भां ज्ञानसम्बन्धाचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Today we are starting the Nirahara Samyama second level. Hundreds of people all over the world are starting the Nirahara Samyama second level, and I am also starting my Di Samyama. Yesterday whole day and night I felt as if I have done a mistake. Yesterday I ate little solid food. I really felt, oh God, something like a body was not settling. Then I decided, come on, now body is back to Nirahara frequency, no more ahara, no more food. Continuously the Brahmacharya Kriya requests are pouring from all over the world. So many want to become Brahmacharis. Then why do you guys are sitting in your house and destroying your family? God. 6th chapter, Dhyana Yoga, 17th verse.
युक्ताहारविहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः.
Yuktahara viharasya yuktacheshtasya karmasu yuktasvapnavabodhasya yoga bhavati dukkhaha. One who is diligent in eating food or in enjoyment. Please understand. One who is diligent means only the quantity needed for your body, not needed for your tongue. One who is diligent in eating means do not allow your tongue to make decisions. Most of the time in your eating, your body does not play any role. Only your visualization. You visualize the dosa, soft idli. The moment you visualize, your eyes visualization, your nose smell, your tongue taste, come on, get. Your body says, no, I don't need. Body has no hunger. Then mind comes, no, you don't know. Now if you don't eat, you will feel hungry. After 3-4 hours, that time I will be traveling, I will be taking class, I will be in the program. I am telling you, usually if argument goes on, this is the way it will be. For you, it will be different. It will say, hey, after a few hours, you will not find a hotel, you will not find food, now itself eat. But the moment you sit in front of the plate, you lost the game. A sadhu who falls in the bed with opposite gender and a sadhu who falls in front of a food plate is one and the same. The moment your mind comes in and justifies and you sit in front of the plate, over. Your life is destroyed. Let your eating be based on body. Means let the visualizations not instigate you. Especially these non-veg people. The moment they see the photograph of that chicken, all these, that's it. For Andhra people, this avakka urga. Let your visualization not be a instigator or decision maker of your food. Yukta Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Diligent in eating. Please understand. The word diligent means three things. One, let your visualization or smelling capacity. One more thing, please understand. Just like the moment you are able to visualize, your other senses respond. For example, if you visualize food, your tongue responds. If you visualize the opposite gender, your body responds. If your senses respond due to your visualization, it is called perversion. Same way, the moment you visualize certain food, your nostrils, your nose responds, means feels its smell. Your nose feels the smell. Dangerous. When your smell gets into the perversion, please understand, sometimes certain perfume smell can immediately instigate the feeling of food or feeling of lust in you. It's unfortunate. The perversions become decision makers in your life. I tell you, when your body wants food and you eat, it will be diligent. When your body feels the lust, if you unite, it will be embodiment of love. Without the second layer instigator, if you decide, it will always lead you to fulfillment. Tripti. Unfortunately, all your major decisions are by the perversion. Understand, this is a very, if you are a boss and making decisions based on different fellows' inputs, you will live like an orphan even in the old age. Nobody will be there around you. Neither you would have built professional relationships nor built personal relationships. Blessed are those who can build both relationships. Ability to make your own decisions is one of the very important thing any leader needs. Leader is a person who can witness whatever is happening inside himself, and I tell you, when you can witness and understand whatever is happening inside you, you will have the tremendous compassion when you make decisions about others. But if you are a boss, you will not look within yourself and create a scale. Please understand. Each one of us have a scale to measure and judge others. The scale is constituted based on your mental constitution. If you are a person imperfect, lot of mistakes, when you create a scale, naturally it will be very low. You will be ready to bear others' mistake also. If you are a man of perfection, you know how you achieved it, and you will have patience for others to grow to that level. But if you are listening from other instigating sources and making decision, you will never be a leader, you will be boss. You will never be able to trust others. You will only constantly torture yourself and torture others. Understand, a man who eats because visualization wants food, man who eats because nostrils are feeling the smell, just because idli looks very beautiful, dosa looks very beautiful, don't think you need to eat. Just because idli smells very nice, biryani smells very nice, does not mean you need to eat. Then snake also looks very beautiful. Poison will be really cold. Let your eyes and nose not put their nose into the habit of eating. Let the eating be decided by your body. Same way, lust. Let your visualization, fantasies, or the smell, or other senses like sound. Sometimes people fall into the lust just by listening to some sound, music, words. That is why all over the world this perversion of phone sex is so popular. Bhagavan is straight, he is telling, be diligent in eating, be diligent in your enjoyment. Yuktahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Bhagavan is the real Vedanta Kesari, the lion of Vedanta. Sri Krishna is lion of Vedanta. If I am allowed, I will ban all the advertisements, publicity for food also, like how the alcohol advertisements are banned. You can't publicly advertise for alcohol. Same way, the public advertisement, hoardings, photographic ads for the food should be banned. There are two food industry companies, as far as I know, in India, they attract customers only by smell. Iyengar's Bakery and Narsu's Coffee. They will always catch a place in the center of the market and go on spreading that smell. In US, McDonald's does that, and Starbucks. Decision to eat should be made by your body without any instigation from the nose or from the visualization, eyes. It should be purely from the stomach and throat. Now I am feeling hungry, let me eat. Then if you eat, it is called diligent eating. Wow, soft, soft idli. Ghee and the chili powder, what a smell. Dosa, how that biryani cup looks, you see. The smell of the biryani. How this avakka urga looks. How the McDonald's burger looks, you see. Almost like Twin Tower. If the instigation comes from visualization or the smell, understand, your decisions are made by the perverted resources, by the perverted inputs. Same way, when you feel you don't want to eat, your mind should not interfere and support the eating habit. Same way, for the enjoyment. Let your eyes not instigate you for physical enjoyment. Let your smell not instigate you for physical enjoyment. Let your body feel it. When your body feels the need for physical enjoyment, your heart will radiate romance. Your touch will become beautiful, soft. Your skin will shine. Then if you unite, you will create a beautiful, fulfilling, deep relationship. But if your eyes make the decision of your physical enjoyment, if your smell makes the decision of physical enjoyment, if your ears are making the decision of physical enjoyment, you will be eating only hotel food. If you understand, understand. Hotel food is not always good for stomach. You will never create a stable family. You will never feel complete. Same way, if you are a leader, let you make the decision with the scale you have to judge others and punish others. Because the scale you make is based on your constitution. Whichever level you may be, you will make the right scale. Understand, if you are completely untrained, imperfect, you will tolerate others' imperfection. If you are trained and perfect, you know the art, how you trained yourself, you will wait for others to get trained and you will only inspire others to get trained. But if you are making judgments about others from somebody else's input, briefing is the biggest crime happens in the political, social, corporate circles. You don't know anything. You just get briefed by your so-called secretary. That donkey vomits all undigested wrong ideas. Then you make decisions and you lose your post. This is the way life is. Neither in your personal habits like eating or enjoyment, nor your professional decisions. Nothing should be made by perverted instigators. If your eyes are instigating you to eat, it is a perverted instigation. If your smell is instigating you to have sex, it is a perverted instigation. If your secretary is instigating you to make decisions, it is a perverted instigation. Let the perversions not be the decision-making instigators, the tipping point in your system. Diligent in eating. I really want this to become one samyama. Yuktahara vihara samyama. Teaching people for 1 week to listen to the body and live. When your eyes really shut, sleep. Don't visualize sleep. That is the biggest problem. Many times you visualize sleep and go and lie down in the bed even when you don't feel like sleeping and be rolling on the bed. Paramahamsa Yogananda says these words, but he repeats from Ramakrishna and Vivekananda. This word is said by all three masters, Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Paramahamsa Yogananda. There are very rare teachings, stories, which gets repeated generations after generations. This teaching is one. This is an instruction for sadhus. Do not be rolling in your bed. Lie down in your bed only when you are really falling asleep. Have the habit of only sitting in your bed. Even when you go night time, when you retire, sit in your bed. Read, write, meditate. When you are about to fall into the abyss of sleep, then just stretch your body. Same way, early morning when you wake up, jump out of bed. The moment you are aware, your leg should be on the ground. Sadhu who rolls in the bed will never be able to live brahmacharya life. Feel bed is like a fire. You will be there on it only when you are unconscious. You will lie down on it only when you are unconscious. Never when you are conscious. Same way, when sadhus, when they sleep, sometime all male sadhus have to sleep in one place, female sadhus have to sleep in another one place. Usually the sadhu should reside alone. Not only he should not stay in a same place with opposite gender, he should not stay in the same place even with his own gender. Understand very clearly? Sadhu should not sleep in a same room or a same space, not only with opposite gender, even with his own gender, same gender. But sometime no place. So all men have to stay in one place. That time, even when you sleep next, your leg should be in the side of the other person's head. It should not be parallel. These are the precise detailed instructions from the Naga Sampradayas. Even now when Nagas travel, if they sleep, you will see very clearly that if one sadhu's head is in the east side, the other sadhu will put his leg on the east. They will not sleep parallel next to each other. Even men. Forget about opposite gender, you can't stay. Even closer, even the same gender. Understand, visualizing about dream, about sleep. If you visualize about sleep and you feel like, I think I am feeling sleepy. Go and lie down on the bed. So the decision of sleeping is not made by your body. It is made by your visualization. Sometime you escape into your bedroom just because you don't want to be anywhere out, you just want to be in your bedroom. Then your mind makes the decision of sleeping. Your bed should be considered like a fire bed. You should lie down on it only when you are unconscious. Understand? Bhagavan is talking about 4 things in this sutra, in this verse. One who is diligent in eating food, diligent in enjoyment, who is intent on the exertion of performance, and who is aware in his dream and waking states. These 4 things, if you practice these 4, you destroy suffering. You destroy all sufferings. Start practicing all these 4. Let perversion not instigate you to eat. Let perversion not instigate you to enjoy. Let perversion not make you judge, measure others. Let perversion not make you lie down in your bed. That's all. Fall asleep only when your body falls asleep. If you feel your body feels like eating, it will eat right quantity, right quality, diligently. If your body feels the lust, it will send the right signals of love to your heart. Your heart will open. You will create a stable relationship. When your body feels the lust, when your heart sends out the love, the other person is being for you. He or she is not just utility for you. It will not be like a use and throw. It is the use and throw attitude which makes prostitution a lifestyle, polygamousness a lifestyle, and destroys the stable family lifestyle. Boss who makes the decision due to the secretary's briefing is a polygamous man. Because perversion makes him to decide. Body which eats because of visualization or perversion about food can never be healthy. Body which gets into the physical lust act due to the perversion of visualization and smell can never be healthy and create stable relationships. Man who makes decisions based on secretary's briefing without his scale of judgment can never be successful in profession. Man who sleeps due to the perverted decisions can never achieve anything in the life. All these four are closely connected. When you understand all these four and practice the right thing, you destroy suffering. Bhagavan beautifully says, Yogo bhavati dukkakaha. What a word. Yogo bhavati dukkakaha. He is the ultimate poet. Sri Krishna is the greatest musician, ultimate dancer. Now when I read his words, I can understand what a poet is. See the words. Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapna vabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkakaha. How it just flows. Such great spiritual truths in flowing liquid language. When the language flows like a liquid, it's poetry. When it is stagnant and solid like a stone, it is prose. When it is in a semi-solid form like mercury, it is oration. Prose is a solid, frozen words. Semi-solid is oration. And liquid is poetry.
Paramahamsa Nityananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nityananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being, benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nityananda Dhyanapeetham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore, and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. A spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga worldwide through thousands of yoga centers, an adept in Ashtamahasiddhis, mystical yogic powers, who has effortlessly awakened the Kundalini of thousands and graced them with spiritual powers, a dynamic young guru who is an inspiration for thousands of youngsters, India's most watched spiritual guru online, a beacon of spiritual light who has triumphed over the forces of religious terrorism and political persecution. Paramahamsa Nityananda is an eternal Kalpataru, blessing the world with the boons of material abundance and spiritual enlightenment. He is the 293rd pontiff of the world's most ancient Hindu organization, Madurai Adinam.
Nityanandaya swagatam Anandanubhavaswadam Sarvaroga nivarakam Vande papa vinashaktam Nityanandaya swagatam Nityamuktam nirvikalpam Dhyanaloka pradipakam Vande shantamayam bandham